Wilderness building is the ultimate therapy for stress relief and sleep. An immersive and silky smooth building process. It's safe to say every frame is an absolute pleasure. I guarantee it. Even someone with OCD couldn't find a single flaw. Not to mention the seamless joinery throughout the cabin. It can easily withstand temperatures of -20 degrees, keeping you as warm as spring every single day. Sim, who can't sit still at home, plans to embark on another wilderness build today. He hadn't walked far when he discovered many fallen trees. Instead of letting them rot away, why not put them to good use? With that in mind, he started wielding his shovel to dig out the foundation. Although he can only dig a little at a time, his physical stamina is amazing. In no time at all, a 2 by 3 meter deep pit appeared. This depth is more than enough for him alone. Then he collected some logs nearby. These are the best materials for building walls. But before using them, he naturally had to strip off the bark to prevent forest, termites, and insects. After processing a pile, Sim drilled holes at both ends and fixed them together with wooden pegs. This isn't for the walls, though. It's for the shelter's foundation. As long as the gaps between the load-bearing logs are tight, the wooden cabin will be sturdy enough. With every layer built upwards, he stuffs moss in between for insulation, ensuring not a bit of heat escapes. Using the same method for the other sides, Sim quickly finished 3 walls. Every log is extremely neat and tidy. Even someone with OCD would have to give a thumbs up. Before continuing with the walls, Sim decided to build the fireplace first. After all, forest nights get very cold, so staying warm is a top priority. Once done, he found a large piece of tree bark to serve as the shelter's door, and the wood shavings scraped off earlier make perfect kindling for the fire. It couldn't be more perfect. After testing that the smoke vented properly, he started building the final wall. This side needs space for a door and window, so halfway through the build, he had 2 notch grooves in the logs to make the chopping work much easier. Now, doing the same with another log, and joining the 2 ends together, created a perfectly sized window. As the last layer of moss was laid, and the final log fell into place, the basic structure of the shelter was complete. He didn't use hinges for the door installation. Instead, he carved a tenon at the bottom, and a mortise on the door frame. Sim's eye is truly as accurate as a ruler. The fit was absolutely seamless. Only now did he start on the roof. Sim used a different method here. He fixed the outer logs first. Then, by laying logs flat on top, he created a perfect slanted roof. After installing the surrounding barriers, the neat roof looked very satisfying. Sim didn't want to move after lying down. After a short rest, he used the remaining moss to seal the gaps in the roof. But Sim felt that wasn't secure enough, so he got some clay to seal the gaps a second time, ensuring the shelter stays warm even in winter. Finally, he just needed to spread dry leaves and the excavated soil on top, and the entire roof was done. Considering the aesthetics of the shelter, he naturally covered it with moss. The emerald green color looked very soothing, even by the courtyard entrance. He planted small trees for decoration, blending the cabin perfectly with the Just as Sim finished this task, a heavy rain suddenly fell. Luckily, he didn't have to get wet. The roof's waterproofing was excellent. Not a drop of rain leaked inside. While waiting for the temperature to rise, Sim utilized the grooves in the walls. To mount the bed frame, he just needed to lay down some moss, along with his bedsheet and pillow, and a perfect single bed was ready. After a hard day's work, Sim wouldn't mistreat himself. He took the beef he had marinated and roasted it directly in the fireplace. After waiting just 30 minutes, he could enjoy this delicious meal. After a week of hard building, he could finally enjoy pure wilderness camping. In the shelter he built himself, later, Sim went home to resupply. When he returned, the forest was filled with snow, giving his originally green cabin a limited edition winter look. Fortunately, the interior was unaffected, and as tidy as when he left. However, he was running low on firewood, so Sim had to chop more wood today. The cold, dry weather made chopping the wood very easy. Before long, he collected a large pile, enough to burn for several days. Although it was snowing heavily outside, the cabin was gradually getting warmer. This time, besides bringing some food, he also brought seasonings and a warm quilt, greatly improving his living comfort. Since he had collected hay in the autumn, stuffing it into a pillowcase, made for a great cushion. These living conditions are more luxurious than many have at home. While the wood in the fireplace turned to charcoal, Sim leisurely started preparing his food. He took out a steak, scored it with a knife, and marinated it with spices. Then he wrapped it in foil, and roasted it directly on the coals, paired with the red wine he brought. It was an excellent choice. As time moved on to the next day, much of the snow outside had melted. After recharging with a simple fried egg meal, Sim decided to build an outdoor bonfire to ward off wild beasts at night. There's no trick to building this. He just needed to find a pile of sticks, bend them using the gaps in a tree trunk, and then pile them together. It creates a simple bonfire structure. It looked a bit like a tent, but Sim didn't overthink it. When darkness finally fell, he went outside to light it, burning off excess waste in the process. It was a pity no friends were there with him. That might be Sim's only regret. But even alone in the forest, he sat there for several hours. When the fire inside completely burned out, Sim gathered some snowballs to cover and extinguish the embers. His fire safety awareness is top-notch. Finally, in the 25-degree warmth indoors, he wrapped up in his quilt to sleep.